ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Anchorage Advisory Committee for December 30th, 2024. I call this meeting to order. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll do roll call next, and I am Chris Riddle King, and I see Ted Lawwell, I see Ed Schoonover, I see John Wesley Nash, we've got Sam Lurie, and Jennifer, is that you? Jennifer Rust?
That is me. And Chair, can I request that we have a moment of silence in honor of President his passing of yesterday?
All right. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
So Becky Weber is not attending. Is that the person that we're missing? Okay.
Correct.
All right. Do we have anyone in the audience for public comment? We do
No.
not. Okay. Approval of the minutes from November 25th. Does anybody have any comments about the minutes that were sent out?
Debris contractors out working right now. They are cleaning up all the debris in all the canals right now. I believe we are midway down the island right now is where we're at. We started towards Bowditch and working our way south right now. So we hope to have this done by the end of the month, into January.
This
the
is
goal right
strictly
now.
debris that you're clearing
It
from
is,
the canals? I mean, I know you weren't here the whole time, but can you take a guess at how many passes the town has made through the canals to pick up debris?
How many passes, I don't know by number, but it's been a lot. I know that we've been working on our own, before the contractors started, pulling out, whatever we could. We got requests, from the residents as well, that we would go to the house and try to, collect whatever we could, manage ourselves to pull out of the water.
Are the contractors using divers?
Yes, so, there is a dive team, with the contractors that we have. A lot of the stuff that we're getting into the canals are not that deep, so, they're not strictly diving all the way underwater. A lot of the stuff, they just get in waist deep and they're able to hook up whatever they need to pull out. That's where they're at right now. We're focusing more right now on all the canal debris cleanup, and then we're gonna move into the deeper water for the sunken stuff, and stuff like that.
Curtis, can you just take it up 10,000 feet a little bit? So after Ian, the state came in and did a lot of work in the bay, and then the town did a number of passes, picking up odds and ends here and there. Is this sort of the crescendo, the final pass, the final Ian debris cleanup for the canals? And is it funded by the state or FEMA, or how is this funded?
This is a FEMA.
Okay. So this will be the sort of the quintessential final pass to get all the debris out of the canals?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, I think that with the residents and we're always gonna have debris floating in, so it's gonna be a constant thing, but the big stuff from these past two hurricanes we had this past season, along with Ian, this should get us back to a neutral state is what
So is this paid for as a result of Milton, or is it actual original Ian dollars, or do we
It
know?
started off with Ian. This has always been an Ian project with Helene and Milton happened in this past year. That happened. We had a lot of debris that we needed to get cleaned up, so it was kind of emergency procurement. to
For
get
people,
this.
for people who live on the canal, where it hasn't been done yet, is there any information you all need? In other words, if they know of debris, should they call it into the town? Should they just let you discover it?
No, please call it in. Give us an update so I can put it on the list. We have done several surveys of the canal prior to the contractors, so we have a lot of pictures of all the big stuff. If any residents want to call in and report debris, please do, so I can go back to our pictures and double check to make sure that is something that we don't already have on our list.
Should we work with Nicole to make a clarion call to our residents who live on a canal that if they know or see debris, that they should phone it into the town while this process is underway?
Correct. I believe there's a messaging system that you can call in, leave a message for.
But I mean, is this something maybe you could work with Nicole to kind of get the word out? Because this is kind of a big deal, especially if
Yes,
this, yeah.
yes, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
Curtis, you said that this will sort of take us back to a neutral state. So this is the debris removal. What about maintenance? Where are we with thinking about the future of the canals and how we continue to maintain them?
I mean, we, as a mooring field, my team, we will continue to always maintain the canals and patrol them. Any debris that we see after this, we will always pick up. I asked the residents to also do their due diligence as well. If there's something that they can get out of the water under their dock, please do so. If not, if it's a larger item, please give us a call, and that's something that we will gladly take care of.
I've noticed that there are boats that are halfway in the water and on their docks, and they've been there since Ian. Who is to take care of that? Is that the responsibility of the property owner of the boat that's falling in? It's not.
It is.
So they can't call the town and ask them to pull a boat out from a dock. Okay. And what do we do? Do we notify these property owners? Maybe they haven't been back since Hurricane Ian. I would think having a boat halfway in the water is a hazard, and not to mention pollution. Is there something that we, as a town, we notify them to please, take their boat out of the water?
Yes, as a town, we should be notifying them. That's something that I will talk with the director on and see how we can move forward with that. But if their vessel is on their lift and it is halfway in the water, fallen in the water, and they have oil and a sheen in the water, then Coast Guard and local authorities will be called, and then they will reach out to the owner themselves to handle that matter. So a local authority should
Chris,
contacting the owner if it's a safety matter.
Chris, I think the answer to your broader question is that the town is going to be in Tallahassee this coming legislative session and going out to DC to look for additional funding for dredging and other maintenance issues for the canal. I don't think we've quite successfully navigated that path yet, but I know they're working on it and looking for grants and other opportunities both at the state and federal level.
Thanks, Jim. Any more questions about canals and debris removal?
Well, I just had the question about, just because it was in the minutes from September 16th, it just says that the historical information regarding the canal maintenance project would be forwarded to the Anchorage committee members, and I don't know I don't know if we have a history of maintenance projects on the canals, but if we have one, I think it would be interesting to see what it is.
Yeah, I think we asked Chad about that when he was here last time, and we asked for a one-pager sort of summarizing what's been done over the life of the town regarding the canal, so it would be helpful to have that just as a historical document to help us move forward.
Yes, a starting point, if you will.
Is that something that's semi-easily done, Curtis?
That's something, again, I'll get with Chad and, I will have an answer for you on our next meeting in regards to this, whether I have the document or, just a verbal update.
Sure, thank you.
So this question is to Mr. Adderholt, Councilman Adderholt. Who is going to Tallahassee to speak on this? Is this Andy or?
This is an ongoing, and it's happened for the last couple of years since Ian. It's usually a delegation consisting of the mayor, Andy and Frankie and Jason from the town staff, and then usually our lobbyist is involved, and then our local legislators have been helpful as well. And just sitting and meeting with the various appropriations committee folks in Tallahassee. Same with Congressman Byron Donalds and Senator Scott. At the DC level, trying to get a line item appropriation to help with some of these challenges as a result of Ian, Milton, and Helene. And it's a question of the town prioritizing its needs and requests. We can't ask for everything, but we can sort of create a list and then prioritize it, and then it's. I know this has kind of become a pejorative, but it's just lobbying. You gotta tell your story. You gotta work it, and hope that the legislature, both at the state and federal level, hear us. Again, they've been very helpful on a number of issues in the past, but there's no guarantee, because I think the state, from my readings, the state's going to be a little stingier with some of these line item issues, and I assume the feds are as well. So nobody knows. There's no certainty to it.
Would dredging the canals be one of those?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it my understanding that it was typically the homeowners on the canals' responsibility for dredging the canals?
Either individually or collectively.
Collectively.
Yeah.
But we're going to ask for assistance for these homeowners on the canals to get it dredged.
Yes.
Okay. And so I understand picking up the debris in the canals, but what is the purpose of dredging? Is it?
I think some of the canals, I'm no expert on this, but a lot of the canals are very shallow because so much sand is washed into the canals.
A lot of them were prior to Ian.
True.
Too.
Yeah, true. And the challenge with the town, we've talked about this before, Jennifer, the town prior to Ian never did an assessment of the canals. So after Ian, it was difficult to get reimbursement to fix the canals because we never had a baseline assessment. So that has been done or is being done. So we'll at least have that for the next tragedy. But
So assessment was never done prior to Ian.
That's
on
correct.
The canals, even when some of the canal owners had dredged, nothing like that.
there may have been some individual data, but there was no collective data as to the
whole island?
the whole island and our canal. And that really hurt us with respect to FEMA reimbursement.
Oh, I see.
It was a lesson learned the hard way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jennifer, do you have environmental concerns about dredging the canals, or is there a point to be made that it would be better for the environment to get that sediment out, or it's?
You know, I mean, I've been doing some research. It can be harmful to the environment because when you are dealing with dredging, you're also dealing with taking away anything that is, for example, natural seagrass that's
It's all
growing. I
covered.
understand a lot of it's covered up, but
Yep.
you know, there are pros and cons to dredging canals, and but
I think the dredging of the canals plays into the entire storm system project that the town is undertaking. The canal, like, I can just use our neighborhood as an example. One of my neighbors just got hung up just last week trying to get out because the channel has completely changed in Laguna Shores. And we used to have, let's say, 6-8 feet of water in the lagoon, and we're down to about 2 or 3 depending on tide, right, Sam, when you're back in there? So, I mean, that much, I understand there's billions of gallons of water in the bay and the Gulf and everything, but that much water makes a difference when we have flooding events in this town. The water's got now, we never had a problem on the south end with water coming out of the storm sewers until Ian. And now almost every storm we have, water never goes into the storm sewers, it just comes out. And it's coming from the lagoon and the bay, and that's been a problem in our neighborhood now that we never used to have. And I'm not an engineer, so I don't know if it's 100% dredging or not. I mean, I would assume Chad Schutz would have a good idea, but it just makes common sense to me that plays into it.
Being a resident that overlooks that channel from my home, I can very accurately indicate that Ian probably pushed that sandbar out maybe quarter mile and affected that channel in ways that it never existed before. And vessels trying to pass that channel today, very difficult.
Yeah.
And almost can't unless they're at three-quarter full tide.
I was through there yesterday on the boat, and there's probably, John can see it, he's got the bird's eye view. You can get about 2 to 3 feet during a high tide, but during a medium or low tide, it's 1.5 to 2 feet. And a lot of people are just going around the mark, but the beginning of that channel to get to Laguna Shores is pretty closed up.
And I think when we see vessels tear up the bottom, trying to get in and out of that channel, is a significantly negative thing for the environment. Certainly, there's a lot of manatee traffic in that area, and certainly makes it difficult for them to stay out of the channel as well.
yeah, so I see, if you just, Google dredging canals, good or bad, it says maintaining navigation, water flow is potentially causing environmental damage if not done responsibly, disrupting ecosystems and releasing pollutants into the water. Therefore, careful management is key to balancing the benefits and drawbacks of dredging.
Yeah, generally
As long
when
as it's done, properly
yeah,
and.
generally when you're dredging, the reason they don't like people doing it individually, people used to do it with hoses and just try to dig out places, is what happens is you're stirring up these layers of oil, sediment, and all kinds of pollutants from the bottom that when it's done responsibly, it still gets stirred up and flushed out, but it releases less of it into the open water.
And I would assume with whomever we might hire to do the dredging, that they would be responsible about, understanding the implications to the environment and doing it the right way.
And they'd have to get all the appropriate
Permits
permits,
and-
yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, anything more on that topic, or shall we let Curtis move on? Okay.
Alrighty.
Are we on to Cruiser Appreciation Day?
I don't think we're quite there yet. I
No,
can't wait till
but
we
we're
get there.
still on-
Curtis's report.
Yeah, why don't we wait until after Curtis's report? I know
Okay.
he's got that in there too.
Yeah, I'll just run through the report now. So I've already
Okay.
started. So I just Want to give you an update on the dinghy dock. It'll be awarded to the contractor on the January 8th on a town council meeting, with just with the holidays and everything. This has gotten pushed a little bit. I hope that this meeting it'll stick and we'll actually move forward. If we get this done, we're hoping by the end of spring that this will be in underway.
Is this a dinghy dock next to or under the bridge?
Correct. Yes, ma'am. It's getting redone,
Any word
replaced.
about the fishing pier that was
That is
taken down? That used to be under the bridge?
correct. It's been removed on that
It's been
side.
removed, so no plans to rebuild that or?
I think that was the county's, wasn't it?
That was the state's,
That
I
was-
believe.
Florida,
That's the
Florida
state's.
Department? Yeah.
But our last town manager is the one that took it down.
Is that how that
Well, there was
happened? We
only
just took it
section
down
of
recently.
Well, I think that got wrecked by Ian. That's the whole reason why it came out, because
A section of it. did.
our dock was underneath of it. It was a concrete dock. The tides rose up, lifted up that fishing pier, and busted off that section.
I swore
Going-
that was before Ian that that fishing pier was taken down, but I may be wrong.
I was told Ian did that. That's what I was told when
I think it's a
got
little
here.
bit of both, Jennifer. I think there was discussion by the state to eliminate the fishing pier when they did their renovation of the North Bridge. And then Ian finished the discussion, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
They just recently removed the rest of it, didn't they?
Correct. At
Within
the end of
last couple
summer,
months.
I think at the end August, September was when it
Yeah.
got removed. Kelly Brothers are the ones who removed that. So they did a great job.
Do we have a drawing of the dinghy dock?
I do have a drawing of it. Once it gets awarded, I'll bring it to the next meeting and I will have a drawing.
We usually try to look over things to make any suggestions, and we're already to the point of
I think when I
awarding.
first started, I had that original drawing, like on my first meeting or something like that, but I can bring that back and
No.
show it, and show it to everybody.
We can't email it or something.
Yes, I can. I can. I'll email it.
As we get busier moving into season, it's dinghy dock, do we have the temporary dinghy dock accommodations set up? Is that with Matanzas, or what are our temporary accommodations?
We're gonna work with Matanzas Inn. We're gonna lay one of up, even though their T dock is kind of destroyed from Ian. There is a section of their dock that that is still usable. We're gonna lay a section of the dinghy dock that we have now up against that for the time being, and that'll be the temporary dinghy dock.
We'll raft up our floating docks to
Correct.
that.
Yes.
Were you able to make, I know Curtis, you had some preferences for what material would be used for that, for the dinghy dock? Were you able to get pretty much what you were looking for there?
Yes, Ed. I believe we are going to be moving forward with a aluminum dock, pretty similar to what we have now. The dock we have now was a gift from Snookbite, I believe. So we've been using those. We plan on saving the existing dinghy docks that we have now, so we could use those in the future for another location or something like that.
Excellent.
And if y'all have any, advice or, recommendations to where that should go in the future, please.
Right.
To be clear, Curtis, is the new one going to be a floating dock, a tide
is.
adjusting dock?
Yes.
Excellent.
We have to have tide adjusting docks for the dinghies and everything. If not, I'd have dinghies hanging off the end of the dock.
Or sunk.
Correct.
People jumping.
All right, well, that's all I have for the dinghy dock update. If y'all have any more questions about that?
Doesn't look like it.
Alright, I'm gonna move on. So, I have an update for the, sunken vessel that's near, mooring ball 47 in the mooring field. I reached out to the Coast Guard and, local, sheriff's office. I just wanted to get permission from them. We are going to be lighting up that sunken vessel this week. It should be done by the end of this week. We're just gonna put a white light, all around white light on it, so it can be identified at night. There is, I reached out to put a boom and things around that. It's not leaking any fluid or anything like that, so to put that out,
Is that just
really is not.
is that just solar that activates at night?
Correct, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And when will it be coming out of the water? What's the issue
So,
there?
I talked to the sheriff's marine unit. We are hoping by the end of spring it should be out. They're in the works of it right now. They have to jump through their hoops and everything. It's a process to get it removed. So I'm hoping in the next couple months we'll have that going. So.
Do we still have some other sunken vessels you're working on?
I do not. That's really the only sunken vessel in our mooring field as of now. The last one got removed this past summer, and that was I believe an Ian vessels still. So
On that same topic,
yes, sir.
do we enforce anchor lights for all of these vessels back there since we're not a designated anchorage?
Yes, they should always be showing their anchor light, but
All around white?
correct. But also when you're in a safe mooring field like that, I'll double check, but I don't think you recall. But I know normal practice, safe practice, always have your anchor light on. If you're in an anchorage, yes, you have to. If you're in the mooring field or a protected specific moorage, not
I think
not
we
necessarily.
talked about this before. I thought that you have to have it unless we're a designated anchorage, but I'm not sure about that. Because I know a lot of them don't show them at night. I mean, there's enough of them to find it, but
Correct.
I thought that the exemption was for a designated anchorage, which we were wrestling with back and forth to decide if we we're gonna try to become one. But, so I'm not sure what the rules are. The reason I say that is, even if they're not doing it, we wanna make sure that we at least tell them that they
Correct.
have to do it if it's required by the Coast Guard. And that's probably a Coast Guard question.
Yes, it is. Okay. I will follow up with the Coast Guard, and I will have a specific answer to this on our next meeting. Any other questions on the sunken vessel topic? Okay, moving forward. So my next update is we sent out an STA for coastal engineering to assist and train in the maintenance of the mooring field, something that I have mentioned in our past meetings. With the two hurricanes that happened, we were supposed to start this right before those two storms came. With those events, this got pushed back, so we are picking up where we left off. We're starting to get back into this now, get them on board and start the maintenance of the mooring systems. This is everything that is underneath the water, going down to the anchored systems in the water. This is cleaning them, replacing the zincs, and coastal engineering is going to train us on that and slowly work us in. So in the future, we are going to take over that fully. So it's kind of a training process for us to fully take it over in the future.
And what is an STA? Is that some type of bid, or?
Correct. I'll get the specific
It's just the
verbiage on that.
abbreviation for the bid.
Correct.
Thanks.
So Curtis, does that mean that your team will be diving again? Or learning to dive?
In the
Is that
future,
part of that maintenance?
Yes, ma'am. It is.
Okay.
It is. We all have to get qualified. Right now, it's just me and one other person. So I hope once working with coastal, that'll kind of push us to get our diving licenses.
Is there a special, in addition to the regular diving certification, is there a special endorsement or certification for this type of work, or just a general, just certified diver?
Just a certified diver, as far as I know.
And is this the most, I don't know, cost-efficient, safe thing for the town for you guys to be diving? I think when Frankie was at one of our meetings, he mentioned that he would rather not have town staff do the diving. So has there been conversations about that, and we've ended up where we're going back to your staff doing the diving?
This is what Frankie and I have talked about prior to the hurricanes. We know that we needed to get this done, and it is something that we have discussed. That's something that I'm going to have to have another conversation and get that exact answer for you. As of right now, that is up in the air.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And
Any other
your
questions?
staff.
Yes. So we are still working to fulfill my staff. Right now I have two open spots. We have tried to hire a few people. Things have kind of got held up due to some background checks. It came back, so we are moving forward with that. So I hope by this month I can at least have another person. We are right now we are actively interviewing people. And I have an interview lined up for the 3rd as of right now. So hopefully soon. I wasn't expecting it to be out this long, but we've made it work. We've done well with us being short staffed. All right, moving on to the next topic. So, I would like to discuss Cruisers Appreciation Day. And I know this was talked about last meeting, which I was not here for, so I just want to, I'm new to this Cruisers Appreciation Day, so I kind of want to get filled in and kind of, get moving on this and, start, planning.
So Sam, maybe you can give us the background of this and whether this is a town sort of sanctioned event and what it all is involved in putting this together from an expense perspective, from a resource perspective. Just give us the lowdown and what the goal of the day is. What do we hope to accomplish?
Okay, I think this was a press release from the last one we had in 2022. I can give everybody a copy. And I'll leave one in John's mailbox. Is that good?
Yeah, that'd be
you?
terrific. Thanks, Sam.
And this is just a release. It'll be updated, but it's a general outline of what we do. We'll have to make some changes, but it's a 3 or 4 hour party that we put on. It's open to the public. We do provide a meal. Usually, I think last time it was $10 worth of coupons to up to 4 people on each vessel, depending on how many people they have signed in for their vessel. We'll have to discuss all these details. And how we subsidize it normally is we have a raffle, and we go around to, there's not a lot of businesses, but actually a lot of the businesses in Times Square did participate in the past. The restaurants, the hotels, Key West Express. We ask them to donate prizes, and we sell raffle tickets for $1. And usually we get between $300 and $400 worth of receipts from that, which covers the food and beverages for the cruisers. Last time we had a food truck. We have had Matanzas restaurant in the past. Depending on the location we're going to have, we'll probably end up getting a food truck if we have it under the bridge. And just something that maybe everybody would like, you know, I don't know, Laola, root shrimp, whoever we can get to do it. We also have some entertainment. Usually we have Jimmy Buffett style guy or Aaron or whoever, you know, is playing locally on the beach. We've had Mary Winter before, I think. Just a single guitar player. And we pay them. We have been able to break even. However, we never got totally rained out. We did get close to rained out. I think we had to come up with $100 or something. If we don't get rained out, it usually covers itself. If we do get rained out, there are some expenses with this that we need to ask council to cover. So we'll have to discuss the details of that.
So Sam, what is the goal of this and how do you measure the success? What have you seen in the past and how many years have you done it?
We've done it, let's see, this was the 13th annual, so I've done it probably 6 or 7 of them since I've been on the committee, about 10 years. The goal is to get all the cruisers to show up, and it's easy. Free food and a free beer. They all show up, and they bring their friends. That's why we have to limit it to however many people we think they have on their boat, so they don't bring like 10 people. And we give them coupons. They also generally end up drinking and eating more, so that goes, you know, towards. It's all done with coupons. There is no cash given to the vendors, and the raffle's all done by coupons, and it's all kept in a central place. Ted's been to a bunch of them. It's a lot of fun. And
do we sell the raffle tickets ahead of time or the day of?
we sell them the day of.
Okay.
And the issue has been trying to keep people there for the grand prize has always been Key West Express, tickets for 2, and there's a couple other big. I think Margaritaville may have. I'm not sure if they were even open, but we'll probably end up getting something nice from them too. This last one was from 1 to 5. However, that was a little long. 4 hours we're finding is a little long, so we may want to make it 3 hours, and we usually do the raffle. We usually do 2 or 3 drawings. We'll probably end up doing 2 drawings. If it's a 3-hour program, we'll do it after an hour and a half and maybe after 2.5 hours, trying to keep people there. We also generally give a welcome gift, which was the Bowie style keychains. We had a huge box of them, but they floated away. And we probably should discuss some type of gift like that. And we also, I think, we're giving it to people when they checked in. So that was a good gift. It was pretty cheap. I think it was $1 a piece. And we probably should order way more than we need, and we also can give them to people when they check in. And it had I should have brought one. I'll bring one to the next meeting.
They're great. They're great.
They're great. You can put your money in them, that you put your boat keys on them or your wallet, it floats. It's got our name and address and website on it, so people will always have it.
Didn't the welcome bags, if I remember from 2022, have the drink and food coupons in them as well? And those are the people that stay in the mooring field, so they get the welcome package? Because I know a lot of people from the other, surrounding neighborhoods came that don't necessarily are a part of the mooring field, but they wanted to be a part of it as well, and I know that they didn't get the welcome bags.
Right,
They
they
had
did-
to purchase the food and the drinks
Exactly.
separately.
So, but we get a lot of people from the public showing up because we do have the raffle,
Yeah.
and they're all buying tickets.
Yeah, is there a way, I have lived here since 2011, and I did not know about it until I saw it advertised in the paper, and I offered to do the Murph pop-up, and so I set up a Murph pop-up there. But none of my neighbors, nobody really knew about it. I told them you should come, it's a lot of fun, and so is there something that we can do? I know it's a appreciation for the mooring field, but the Anchorage, but is there some way we can incorporate and get the town residents?
Get more
and
public?
More public visitors, and, that may not know more, may want more information about the mooring field, maybe they're in the works of buying a new boat, and we want them to come to our area, and so I'm just wondering if there's a way we can market or promote it in a way that involves everyone.
There is a way.
Right.
And that's my bad, because I was just giving press releases to the Observer and the Sun, all the papers. But now we have a secret weapon, Nicole. So
Okay.
she might be able to help us promote this and, put it on the website, and she can, she knows how to spread the word. So when the time comes, she'll probably maybe help us with our press release to the papers, but even more than that, to get it out to a lot of people in the public. And
To
this
your
is,
point,
this is probably
Jennifer,
what went
I
in
love
the
the
paper.
idea about expanding it and having the pop-up and other things, so might we consider, marrying this with something else so that it's not necessarily a standalone and we play to a bigger crowd? So, we've been having those Sunday night concerts, and I don't know what day of the week this usually happens on, Sam, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, but is there something else going on that we could make Cruisers Appreciation part of?
It could
And
be,
then we would have a much larger base, and we would really have the opportunity to educate people about the Anchorage, about, cruisers, and how important this is to the lifeblood of Fort Myers Beach.
Precisely.
it could be any day, and we could invite Jackie from the chamber to try to, she gets people to all her things. There's no reason we can't incorporate it with some other
Boy,
Are
did-
we set to only have it under the bridge, or now that we have a beautiful Bayside Park,
Right.
why don't we do it there instead of under the bridge, and then that alleviates the parking for more people to attend?
We should totally do
Yeah.
it at Bayside. The
Yeah.
only reason we always had it at Matanzas, because they were our,
Right.
we had it there, but they had a lot more going on with the restaurant. They're a little limited now. We had it at Matanzas because we wanted to give them some business too, but we could have it at Bayside, and
We have to get
the only thing,
approval,
yeah,
we'll have to do the permits.
the only reason we always had it Under the bridge in that general location was the dinghy dock. It was easier for, and everyone knew where to go.
But Bayside Park's not far from there.
Bayside Park would be,
Perfect.
would be
It's-
perfect.
So,
When is
question,
a ding, pardon me, I'm
No
sorry.
problem.
When is a dinghy dock expected to, our dinghy dock?
So I'm hoping that by this spring we'll be in,
And do we
In
have a
construction.
date? In construction.
yes.
And do we have a date, what's a typical date for the appreciation?
this one was March 25th.
Yeah,
So
we
usually
have not
around
picked a
Easter.
date.
I
We
looked up
generally do.
Another time we had it, I think we've had it, in April as well before.
We generally have it the week after Easter, only because we don't, there's so many people here during Easter week. It's very congested getting down, and people have other plans. But we try to have it as soon as we can after Easter, so the mooring people are still here, the ones that are here for season,
So
so.
maybe we can
Well,
incorporate
excuse me,
spring
Jennifer,
too.
I'd like to make 2 points. Sam, I like a Friday for a lot of reasons. It's, it probably is one of those days where we max out the amount of visitors in the mooring field. I also would like to check out if we can get Beach Talk Radio to help promote it, possibly in their newsletter, possibly in one of their Saturday shows, whatever. I think they're very effective in promoting things on the island.
I
I
got
think
breaking news, he just said he would.
Say what?
Yep.
Excellent, very, very good, very good.
That would be great, because they have a huge following, and they will get the public to come.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and then my thought was, since, we were maybe thinking about incorporating the residents and visitors, maybe, and you had brought up that it's in spring, maybe it could be like, some sort of spring into, the Morningfield Festival, festivities, or something like that.
No, I
Just,
love that.
Incorporate a
Yeah.
spring festivity along with the appreciation and
No.
something.
The question I had was for, well, I don't know if Curtis can answer it or not, but I know that, like, say if we were gonna try to do like naming rights in the mooring field, there's some hang up that we can't really do that, right? We can't like, or maybe take Bay Oaks as an example, that you can't, the town can't give naming rights to facilities. Is that correct, as far as like advertising?
I've
goes,
not
or-
heard that. I've not heard. I'm sure there's things we have to be sensitive to, but I'm not sure it's impossible.
Okay,
I know
was
that
just
we've
thinking
talked
with the-
futuristically, kinda like sponsorships for each individual morning field, and
Right,
we
yeah.
discuss
Right.
things of that nature.
and I mean, isn't that
something-
something that we can, work into this
Well, we don't have
day
to
as
do,
well, with
we don't have to do
sponsorships?
sponsorship of the mooring field itself. We can just do a sponsorship of that day and that event maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that way we're not committed for, like naming an arena or something, but we can do it for that, possibly for that day. And
Yeah,
that might help, and it would
absolutely.
get us promo, and there's,
And I think that this will be awesome we'll use this day to kind of, promote other events and as well, because I
You know, I
know
can
that
get-
you mentioned, captain's
For clean water.
clean water. We
And
can
also-
promote that at this event, or
Great
or
idea.
or bring them on this event. I don't know if that's gonna
Yeah.
be too much.
And then also, I have, the Coast Guard comes and, does, safe boating practices at my pop-up, so I'm sure I've got a really good, rapport with them, so I'm sure they would wanna come and be a part of it
Absolutely.
as well.
If anything, I say that we bring them for this cruiser's appreciation, because it is the kickoff to spring, getting into the boater season. That would kind of be a kind of
Yeah,
maybe.
certainly, I think we should ask the Coast Guard Auxiliary to attend,
They would be the one that's probably
Yeah.
going to
And-
attend
and as
more
well
so
as
than
the-
the actual.
Yeah.
than
as,
the
as
actual-
well as the United States Power Squadron,
Okay.
is another, local boating,
So who organizes this? Is it us?
We do.
We do, okay, so it's not town staff, it's us, so we make do we need to give each person a job, or?
we will. And probably what we need to do is pick a date. So I think, between now and next meeting, Jennifer, you definitely have the connections for all these different pop-up people and all the, you know, all the Joanne Semmer, you know, all these type of people would probably like to be involved.
Yeah, call Joanne.
And
Are you still thinking that like the week after Easter would be ideal?
And if we get all these people involved in Beach Talk Radio, we may need crowd control.
I
have another question. Any money that we make, any of the funds that were once paid to the band, and if we have anything left over, where does that go? Does that go into a budget for us?
I'm not even sure. We never did.
We
We
always just
kind of
broke
broke
even?
exactly
it would be a
even.
nice problem to have.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's strive for it.
And we probably will, weather permitting. However, even weather permitting, with, you know, with the shelters and the places down there, we have had it in a drizzling rain.
I would
was
just,
successful.
Chris, before we let your point go, I think you raised a really interesting point about having it in, I hate to use this word, in concert with the Bayside music concerts, because that would be a nice thing for everyone to go to afterwards, have a live concert down there, the band's then already paid for, and then you could kind of combine those together, get that synergy. The challenge, John, of course, is those are Sunday nights, not Friday nights, so I'm not sure how important that is. It may be very important.
I think any time over the weekend is a good time. Friday through Monday morning is excellent.
But I like the idea of if it's spilling over then to the Bayside concert, then you've got already a nice professional band there, and then they could go have dinner at the restaurants around afterwards, and everybody sort of wins from an economic development standpoint.
Is the concerts from 4 to 7 generally?
I think so. Chris, do you remember?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, Jim.
That would work out. If we did a
1
2 to
4.
4, yeah, 1
Yeah.
to 4, 2 to
Lunch.
4,
Yeah.
and before that and spilled into that,
We couldn't have a truck there, a food truck in that park.
well,
can't?
we have we have 3 restaurants within 20 feet of Bayside Park, so we may be able to do something. And we have one owner that owns 2 other restaurants, then, you know, that we have worked with in the past. So we may be able to do something and not have to go all out for food, where they could provide an area for us, and
Or even just do the
Work
boxed
with us.
lunches or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can give coupons to the people, to our people, to go to these restaurants and work with them, and
Like a
That would
$25
simplify it.
voucher or something, or a $20 voucher that you can give to the mooring field.
we usually did $10,
Oh.
and that got us, and we had some really nice food that was more expensive than that, but $10 usually got somebody a nice sandwich and a beer, or a soft drink.
Sam, I
And
just
maybe we
want,
could work with the restaurants to do that, to say, okay, here's the meal that you can get with this, or you can apply it to something else.
That would
Right.
really simplify it.
I
Last time, we had an issue with the food truck. They ran out of food, and they took our money, and we never were able to settle up correctly with them. It was a successful day, but that part of it was not successful. We ended up having to reconcile a couple things, and the people that were there at the end didn't get the food that they should have gotten. Whereas if we do it in conjunction with these restaurants, we will never have that problem, and it will probably be a lot easier to set up, and it's more business for them.
it was just an idea I wanted to throw out there, because I got to thinking about it when you were saying it's usually around Easter. It was something that we used to do on our end of town that hasn't happened since Ian, and probably won't happen anytime soon due to the condition at Santini, is the St. Patrick's Day parade. And you could do St. Patrick's Day down in Bay Oaks like this. I think that would be a good combination. It's a little bit earlier in the year, so we'd still
I'm
have.
not sure that we could get it ready. I mean, St. Patrick's Day is, what, March 17th?
And there's so many other festivals going on.
And the traffic
So-
is a mess.
We have always done it the week after, just because there is a little less traffic and most of the cruisers are still there. So I'm not sure, like Easter week or the couple weeks before that is just so hectic on the beach. The other thing is these restaurants are probably not gonna wanna, they're gonna be full for those couple weeks before and during Easter.
Sure.
That it'd be a nice kick for them afterwards to keep things going, hopefully.
Sam,
So we can pick any date that the committee wants.
Right. Sam, there is, and maybe Vice Mayor can help answer this. There's, in the past, have you had, we all have talked about nonprofits to this point. Is there an issue about having, profit or commercial, entities, participate? Certain marinas, certain, various services to boaters, is that an issue by any means, or is that encouraged?
They participate by giving us things for the,
For the raffle.
like $13,000 engines, and I mean, the raffle is what kept it going. And all of the people, we collected, really expensive things for the raffle. So that's the way they have participated in the past. And in the past, it was kind of all us and all Sam, and we kept going, and we asked the town to put us into the budget for an amount of money in case we fell short. And it started out at $1,200, and I think it was $200 the last time.
Yeah.
So,
And we never even, I don't think we ever had to take the money. We might have needed $100 one time, but
yeah,
when we
right.
got some rain. But that's right, the Fishtail Marina donated like a 200 horsepower engine or something.
Wow.
And Key West Express. So these people that are buying dollar raffle tickets, ask Ted. We walk around and they're like, I'll take 20, I'll take 10, I'll take 20. You know, before you know it, you know, we've got $500 worth of tickets sold for the day.
And maybe we should sell them for more than $1.
Yes, I thought.
I'm thinking, inflation. Let's up that.
Right.
Well,
Wow.
Well, the
they're
dollar's
gonna
good
put the
because
same
no
amount
one
of
buys
money in,
one.
whether the tickets
Yeah.
are $1 or $2.
No one buys
Yeah.
one. They
So it-
buy 5 and they buy 10.
They're-
And I'm sorry, I don't have change. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
take 10.
Yeah.
Their limit is the money, not how much each ticket's worth.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people that buy just one are still in it for $1 and still have a chance. But a lot of people want a bunch because they spent $50 or $100 buying tickets.
Yeah.
If we were to have any overage in the next appreciation, what would we do with any money that would be extra?
I think,
Some,
go ahead.
sometimes we have bought stuff for the next
For the next event.
event. I don't know whether it gets so big we might not be able to store stuff, but that's what we've done with it in the past. So there was never any money. left
Can I
over, so-
assume that there's no, limitation for people being present to be involved with raffle?
You have to be present to win. That's how we keep them. That's why
Correct.
we did it for 4 hours. And you know, people that got there, the first ones there because they wanted to get their free beer and sandwich, that were there and buying tickets. You know, we had to tell them with noon to 4 o'clock that our last drawing is at 3:30. That was a little frustrating for some of the people. So if we could make it to where they only have to be there a couple hours from when we begin to our last drawing, instead of making it a 4-hour event, especially if we're going to have music and other things afterwards, we could make it a 2 or 3 hour event. It
Yeah.
might be better.
Make it 2 to 4, and you'll have some of the people showing up for the concert early, and then you can sell a lot more.
Yep,
raffle
and have the
tickets.
last drawing at 3:30.
Yeah.
Maybe have a drawing at 3 and 3:30, and that way everybody gets a chance.
Or right before the band starts.
So we will need, maybe for next meeting, what we can do is pick a date, and if everybody could kind of put a list together of the people they know.
So Sam, how about if I put an event plan together for the next meeting, and I can send that out to everybody, and you can think about, like you said, the date, roles and responsibilities, what all things we need to do over the next couple of months to get this done.
And
But
how to
I
get,
like your idea about, who could we involve as vendors perhaps? Who could we, how are we gonna promote it? That sort of thing. But I can put together just a kind of a skeleton event plan that we can all fill in.
And Chair, are we doing this year? I mean, next year, in 2025?
Yeah.
Wow,
Correct.
we don't have much time then to do
We
this. Maybe we could pick a date now and at least get a few of the things done so we're ahead of the game?
I think we should wait to pick a date because we need to make sure that we coordinate with the town and they don't have something else on the calendar. So maybe we can pick a date at our January meeting, and in the meantime, if you, for example, like local color, Anita always gave something, so we can think of all these things, businesses that are finally open, and maybe make a list, and what we usually did is, you know, someone say, oh, I know Anita, I'll go do local color, or I know the Lonnie Kai, I'll go to them, and we usually try to give it to people who, you know, were familiar with the businesses or the restaurants. And so if we could try to get together a list of all the businesses that are open, and, you know, we can go to Margaritaville, we can go to Key West Express again, we can go to Lonnie Kai, they always participated. Everybody on Times Square, participated, but the restaurants that were open, you know, Yucatan, the 3 restaurants at Bayside, they all participated. Matanzas gave overnight, I think they gave a weekend, and they gave restaurant coupons, they gave a weekend at the resort, and so we should
Jennifer,
try to think of those.
yeah, Jennifer, to your point, yeah, we don't have a lot of time, but I think if we can make a lot of decisions at our January meeting, then we might need to make some, you know, special committees and just break up and have some other meetings to get stuff done.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, Easter's April 20th. So if you wanna stick in that time frame.
Possibly look at the week before or the weekend before Easter. But I highly encourage the committee to do whatever they can to make this happen this spring.
Sure, I agree.
Yes.
Chris, you follow the chamber site. Do they have a schedule for the bands for next year? Or do they go all the way past Easter? Do you know?
Well, I don't know, but I can check that out. I can talk to Dayla and I can talk to Jackie and find out.
Wonderful.
That would be a real
Okay.
money saver if we could incorporate that,
Oh,
because
yeah.
our biggest expense is the band.
And it's
Yeah.
it's such a great venue, and if everybody's already there and they can support the restaurants afterwards, it's a great festive event.
And it's a real band there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a real festival, you know, festival setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's always better to go where somebody already is than to try to make people come to you. So I think that'll be a win-win for everybody.
And as far as having it the week before Easter, we have discussed that many times, and there's so much traffic, and there's so much else going on that in the past, we've always decided to have it as close after as we can, but not Easter weekend or before, just because there's so many people around the beach at that point.
Vice Chair, do we know how many people attended from the mooring field in 2022?
I would say 90%, maybe, or I would say 110%. Because they were bringing 4 people, and there weren't even 4 people on the boat. So we got nearly 100%. You know,
Whoever was
because
there.
they just come in their dinghies. Yeah, whoever's there, they always show up from the mooring field.
What's
So
the
if Easter's April 20th, we're thinking April 27th as a tentative date.
I think that would be a good weekend, and we can maybe discuss it and vote on it next meeting.
Okay.
And I'll check with Amy and check what the calendar is for the town, because we don't want to overlap, you know, something. We want to be probably the only thing on the calendar that day, other than
Okay.
the concert.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So I will put together an event plan and we'll talk about how we get this done next time. That probably will take up most of our meetings. That's a big agenda item. Okay, Curtis, I think the last thing on your list was talking about Sam's letter.
Yeah, so Sam, he sent out his letter a couple weeks ago. I read over it, I approved it, and he actually got that letter out to all the marinas yesterday.
Do you want me to read
That's
it real
correct.
quick?
Yes.
Just so everybody, I just got Curtis's approval with him. He helped me do it. Dear Fort Myers Beach area marinas and boat rentals, in an effort to ensure safety and satisfaction to our mooring field or Fort Myers Beach mooring field patrons, please advise boat owners and rental customers that the entire Fort Myers Beach mooring field is a no-wake zone. The mooring field area of Matanzas Pass extends from Pink Shell to Hurricane Pass. This no-wake area is especially sensitive to wakes, as occupants are boarding dinghies, cooking, and performing other onboard tasks. Thank you for your assistance in this matter. And that went out to most of the marinas and the rental companies on the beach.
Can we make that a flyer that's issued to anyone that sets up a rental?
Yeah, absolutely. That we know of. You're talking about like newer rental companies that start and that kind of thing?
Well, I'm talking about if someone comes in to use the mooring field later on, we can hand that out to them. That letter can be handed up. Is that what
Part of
you
the
just
welcome
said?
package.
I sent this by email, but most of the people, I did talk directly on the phone to get their email address. I told them what we were doing, that we wanted their customers and patrons to know, and especially their rental people, because, they're one-time people. And they all said that was part of their briefing. So hopefully this just reinforces that
Oh, I see
that
what you're
it's
saying.
still, when they do the rental, they tell everybody where they can go, where they can't go. And they all said that this was part of their briefing about all the no-wake zones. Because the entire Back Bay, other than about a mile on the south end, is no-wake.
So my confusing is you've encouraged it and are talking about issuing it to the rental companies for boats, not to the rental mooring customers?
No, not to I think the mooring customers know that it's no wake back there. Once they get hit with a couple wakes, they slow down.
Now being on the channel at Sookbite, I find that even the Sookbite's own boats don't slow down going by, and we do have. I had been in Fishtail protected, and it's a new life, and it is disturbing that the boats are doing that. Is my understanding the Coast Guard will not allow us to put up a signboard saying no wake. We can only use their normal
And it
signage.
is posted. In fact, Snookbite, they were the ones that were most appreciative of me putting out this email. Snookbite does have extra posted signs that instead of no wake, they are idle zone, which is the slowest you can go and still steer, whereas no wake's slightly faster.
It's faster, yes.
And they do have an issue, because that channel, at Snookbite, the channel is very narrow, and if you go too fast through there, you will hear about it.
I wish I could have had some input on that letter, because really, part of it also is it creates erosion. When those boats are flying through, not paying attention to the no wake signs, they're causing so much damage to property owners, to our seagrass, to wildlife, and that really, a lot of people, it doesn't occur to them. I really believe that when they come here, they rent a boat, they're not thinking about the environmental impacts of not following the signs. So that letter maybe, of course, the businesses, they understand that. It's the people that are coming and renting the boats and the people that, buy a boat that never, don't understand the ramifications of
And
not following
the
those
rental
signs.
customers don't realize, but now, I know Freedom Boat Club has it, and I think most of these boat rentals, they are tracking them with GPS. They do have
Excellent.
bits
Excellent.
on the boat, so they know. And I'm thinking if they're really, crazy out of hand, Wild West, that they call them on their cell phone and tell them, we see you, I know they keep track because they do know when they go out in the Gulf, because a lot of them aren't supposed to go out in the Gulf, and they do call them. And they say, hey, you're out in the Gulf. You just signed a thing that said you're not in the Gulf. So I'm assuming they know kind of how fast and where they're going.
That's interesting.
So-
Is that new? Is that a new thing that they
No,
started?
they've
They
done that for
stash them
quite a
on there.
while.
They've been stashing it.
Oh,
There's one
I
in your
see.
car and you don't
Oh,
even know.
okay.
It's excellent news.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
And that concludes all my updates for today. Unless y'all have any other questions or topics to be
All right. Shall we move on to member items? And Jennifer, do you have any member items?
Just what we had spoken about, doing the joint meeting with Marine Environmental Resource Task Force with Captains for Clean Water. They're very happy to do that. Murph did approve it. Mr. Nussbaum, the chair of Murph, actually said that he would get in contact with you. I'm not sure if he has, and that you two would figure it out. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that you two
We
were.
talked,
Just to be
we
clear,
talked briefly
are we-
about it, Jennifer, so yeah, I think there was another organization that he wanted to bring to the table at the same time. It was
Yes.
Captains for Clean Water, and what was the other one?
Calusa.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm having a brain.
Water
Calusa Water Keepers?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Calusa Water.
to be clear, are we talking about these presentations at our meetings, or these presentation at a separate
Having
location?
a joint meeting, so having a joint meeting of Murph and our committee so that we could take up the time of these organizations just once. So I don't know if that would be during one of our regularly scheduled meetings, or we'd have it sort of off.
I discourage,
so-
I discourage the consideration at a regular meeting, because I think that takes up more time than it should, in discussing the responsibilities of the committee. I
Yeah.
encourage it to be either a separate entity, or possibly if it's, wants to be sponsored by Murph at one of their committee meetings, that's their choice. But I would like to disencourage to have it happen during one of our meetings. We have
Yeah.
many things to consider that goes beyond environmental issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
and-
been in joint meetings with other committees and boards and with the town of Fort Myers Beach, and it seems to be better to do it separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Nash.
Now,
So, wait a second, so what did you say? You said you wanna do it separately, or should we
I
have a
believe-
separate
I believe-
separate joint meeting?
Correct.
And
Got it,
I encourage that and agree with.
Okay, perfect.
so I have
Alright,
a question. For this Caloosahatchee water keepers
Water
and
keepers,
the
yeah.
captains for clean water. Now we are gonna have them come and talk to us as the member meetings, and then talk to us. Or what I was thinking, yes, like I'm down for that, but also I think that we should bring on captains for clean water, and kind of hold a separate event, another event, kind of like this Cruisers Appreciation Day, and invite the public and have them do kind of like a presentation and stuff like that. That way we're involved, and also we're getting the community involved as well.
Yeah, the joint meetings are typically just like this. It's
Correct.
open to the public to come
I
and,
understand.
yeah, so.
But I think we should do that and in lieu and bring the public involved into these stuff like
You
that.
could incorporate it into that.
Because
the
I used to
cruiser
run
stuff.
I used to be on a board member for a non-profit in River or Ocean, and we would bring in companies and committees like the Captains for Clean Water. We had the CCA, and they would come and do events in the evening and stuff like that.
mhm.
And we would have people come, and it just brought the community together. That's kind of something that I would like to see us do more of with this committee,
Mhm.
hopefully.
Well, certainly, or maybe Chris, can ask Captains for Clean Water to see if they're interested in coming and setting up a booth at the
Mhm.
Cruiser Appreciation Day. But this is more for, joint session for our committees to come together, to listen to what they have to say. It also needs to be recorded, it needs to be in this kind of setting, under the town. And, that way, you know, the committees, if we have questions, we can answer the questions. It's, a but maybe we can ask those two organizations if they wanted to participate in the cruiser event. But I believe that the joint, meeting should be held here and, that matter.
Yeah, I think there might be three things here. So there's the committees, the AAC and the MERT, that would benefit from listening to these organizations and understanding and, just gaining some knowledge. Then there's, hey, they might want to participate in the cruiser appreciation because they would have some visibility to the public. And then there's what Curtis is talking about. How do we have more of an impact on the general public in general by bringing these organizations in front of them for an evening kind of thing, sort of like the things that are held at the Mound House when they bring in all those speakers. So maybe that's something we can discuss at a further, a future meeting, Curtis, about how we would put together some sort of an evening program and where that would work.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Jennifer, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. John?
I don't have anything for today's meeting. Thank you for giving me the
All right.
opportunity.
Sam?
Okay, I wondered if everybody had a copy of the mooring field management plan. There's two documents that govern this committee. The management plan that we revised in 2022 and our submerged water lease. And I don't know if anybody does, I know Ted has seen it because he wrote it.
Well, it's on the town website, correct?
Is that on?
believe it
Yeah,
is.
so they're on,
Yeah.
so those are the two documents that govern the committee here, so they are on there, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're clicks, okay, so those,
It's
just
on our
for your
side, too.
information, those are what govern us and, keep our submerged land lease.
Yeah.
I had a question about Rebecca Weber. She missed 2 meetings. Did she call in for an excused absence, or has she been in contact with anybody that we know of? We may
Is
wanna.
she new?
What do you think?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
she
new
was-
when you
she
were
was
new.
on-
Contacted to
Yeah.
let her know that she was
Yeah,
appointed?
I think she was new, but maybe you should contact her and let her know if she's gonna miss a meeting. We'd like to have her, but if she's gonna miss a meeting, she should call in or email you for an excused absence.
That's I believe three unexcused absence, and that's it.
Yeah, so maybe she, should know that. The other thing is, looks like next meeting, we're gonna do a lot with this Cruisers Appreciation Day, and maybe for the February meeting, we could invite Nicole, and she could, let us know what she can do to help us, promote the Cruisers Day. Once we pick it in January, we should have everything sorted out, and maybe we can invite her to the meeting in February, and she could let us know what she can do to help us promote it and what we need to do.
I'm super excited.
It's a fun party. And that's it for me.
All right, Ted?
Nothing further?
Ed?
Most everything was answered, but there is the ongoing, a couple ongoing questions, but I haven't asked this one yet. Balls 5 through 9. Still empty. Still empty.
Still in communication with the Coast Guard, so, still working on that matter. I don't have a resolution yet. It's still pending right now. It's been very difficult with the storms and everything to follow up on that.
Sure.
As of recent, but it is on my radar. It's something that I'm constantly talking to them about, so.
Is there a small vessel that's out dredging in that part of the mooring field? Thought I noticed something yesterday that
No,
I saw out there, and I
any
thought
of
that's-
their vessels, if you see any tugs or anything that appears to be dredgers, it's part of the beach project and stuff out
Okay.
there at Bowditch, so. But I haven't seen any dredging inside the mooring field, no.
That's it. Thank you, Curtis.
You're welcome.
Mr. Vice Mayor, do you have anything?
I yield my time to the town clerk.
Okay, yeah, I saw Amy leading your way there to the microphone. Go, Amy.
Please.
Gotta pick a date.
I don't know if this is on.
I think it is.
It is.
Okay, Amy Baker for the record, and I will reach out to Miss Weber and remind her about coming to the meetings, or if she, I'll figure out what's going on with her. I've also received a request for your next meeting on the 27th of January. We need to move it from 9 a.m. to either in the afternoon or a different day. Anytime that week would work for us. We've just had a request to come in here for some magistrate hearings on the 9th, or on the 27th at 9.
Does noon work for everybody if we did the is noon enough time for them to do the magistrate first?
Can we go 1?
One?
1?
Works for me.
1
I
or
can do
later,
1.
or any other day that week is open for us.
I can do that. That's the
So
original
January
date.
27th.
January
Yeah.
27th, you have it scheduled at 9 now, we'd like to move it till 1 p.m.
Maybe ask the vice mayor, is that gonna be a huge magistrate day, or they go pretty quick?
I have a feeling that's gonna garner a lot of attention. Yep.
Okay.
It's, yeah,
Maybe
it,
we-
it should be done maybe 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, that's
Okay.
why the later we can go, the better.
1 PM?
That works for me.
Do you wanna, I'll do a motion on that we change, that we have it at 1 PM if that's, or just
On the
make sure everybody's
27th,
gonna
I'll
be
second
okay?
that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Just while we're on that, so does that mean on the next meeting in February is gonna be on the 24th at what, 9
Correct.
o'clock?
Correct,
Okay.
the 4th Monday of every month at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. I have nothing additional.
Okay. I don't really have any member items. I will just follow up with, talking with Mr. Newsbaum about when we might have a joint meeting and working with the town accordingly, and so, and working with those 2 entities that we want to have the presentations. And I'll put together an event plan for the Cruisers Appreciation event that we can look at next time.
Do you have the contact information? Did Mr. Nussbaum, I sent that off with the copies of the emails from.
Yeah,
Captain
I'd love to have that if you wanna send it to me
I can't
as
send
well.
it to you because
Oh,
of
you can't send
sunshine
it to me.
law,
Okay,
but
you
I
can send it to Amy or Curtis, who can send it to me.
Yeah, who is our town liaison? You're our town liaison?
Curtis is-
Correct.
Okay. So I send it to you,
Yeah.
and then you send it, and
Oh, yeah.
so I just need your email address.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I can probably just get it off the town website. That's okay. I got you.
Okay. Any public comment?
I got one, just a small thing, I got informed this morning that town is moving to, paperless, so next meeting, I won't be printing out these, we'll be emailing them out.
Oh,
I know.
jeez,
I'll try
really?
to, I'll still try
Felt
to
bad
have some
for ya.
copies for us, if someone forgets.
Just one page.
I was told, but spread the word.
You love paper, just like I do, Jim.
Hurts.
Save a tree.
Okay.
Change
Yes,
hurts.
that's exactly. Okay, next meeting agenda, we are talking about the Cruisers Appreciation event, which will be probably the bulk of our agenda. What else do we wanna put on there besides your normal staff report, Curtis? Any other major topics?
Just the news that balls 5 through 9 are open.
There we go.
Yep, update on
And you're going to bring to us, the dinghy dock. You're gonna send out, dinghy dock information about what that looks like.
correct,
And, you're also gonna talk to Chad about the canal maintenance,
yes I am.
the history of that. And then I'm wondering, this is sort of working ahead, but for February, in addition to talking to Nicole about how she could promote the event, might we talk about 2015 priorities, just so that we can have a kind of a strategic plan going forward for the year?
How about 2025?
2025.
Sorry, darn it. I'm going back in time.
Oh, we'll never get
Just
there.
2025, thank you. You have to realize, I got up at 3:30 this morning, so, you know.
Well, you'll
Just
be
saying.
ready
Where are
for
you?
Aloha Mai Tai coming up soon.
Hawaii. Are you
Can
in
I have
Hawaii?
that for breakfast, is that okay?
Oh, jeez.
So I would like, the topic and the agenda for 2025 to be, the clean water, getting the back bay clean again, and, so.
Okay, yeah.
Something I
Let's
wanna
talk about that.
mention and request, if possible, Curtis, is it possible to have a document that shows us the current identified targets, that we are, trying to remove from the back bay?
Yes, that was actually all the targets that we would be looking at getting has already been sonar hit, and these are, that had been done after Ian.
Right, I understand. Is it possible to communicate that to the committee? What remains and where they're located, and what are they as far as what we can identify?
Yeah, absolutely. What I can do is after they are complete, because he's actually doing radar scans in lieu of doing the canal cleanups as well. So whatever objects he finds, he marks them, and then at the end of this, we should have a more updated
I understand. I'd just
report.
like to see it in progress, and I certainly don't think that can be communicated at this meeting. Possibly ahead of this meeting, you can send out something electronically that we can discuss at the meeting.
You know what would be fascinating, probably not, I'm sure it would probably be costly, but.
I'm sorry, Jennifer, can that be added, Vice Chair, can that be, or, I'm sorry, Chair, can that be added to the agenda?
Sure. Yep, so for the
thank-
agenda for January, I have cruiser appreciation, and we're gonna talk about what's new with balls 5 through 9. We're gonna get the canal information, the dinghy dock, what it looks like, and debris targets.
Identification. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, yep.
I think it would be fascinating if, there was video of the debris under there now. People can take video to see what is under there with the sonar.
No, they're just regular divers. They're not, I can ask, but I don't think that's in there still.
They'll be preparing a report, maybe.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. After this will be done, we're gonna gather information and have a report that I could share with you after that. So,
There might be an interesting way for Nicole to sort of publicize, hey, here's the weird things that we found down there, and we just didn't know this was underneath there and how dangerous it was and all that sort of stuff. Well, maybe not the dangerous part, but to your point, Jennifer, it would be interesting to share that with the public, just about here's all of the stuff that we have taken out.
Maybe someone that can photograph some of the things that are coming up. I don't, would it be possible to be a part of, some of the, debris removal to get photographs, so we can put it on the internet?
yes, absolutely. We've already been
Yeah.
doing
But to Jennifer's point, Kurt, I think from a town PR standpoint, to demonstrate publicly all the things we're cleaning up in the bay with this FEMA grant, I think it's not only good public policy, but it's good PR for the town as well.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
no,
I just haven't seen those pictures. I think it's a great idea to take some.
Post last week or
Really?
before the holidays.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I
with
missed that,
us,
yeah.
With the contractors, and then we did a cleanup, and we removed with EPA. We cleaned up Bird Island, removed all the lot of debris out of there. So
Why
we
the-
did a posting of that.
I didn't
As
see
far
that.
as pictures of that, yes, we plan to get pictures. It's just been very difficult with literally me and one other guy right
Yeah.
now. So to it's hard to be several places at one time. So
Maybe one of the committee members could come and do the photographing?
Or the vendor, I would think the vendor would be able to do that
yes,
and then
yes,
send it to you.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He's taking pictures of all that they're pulling out. Everything has to be documented. That's all being done. I will try to get my hands on pictures so we can promote more. That's already been on my radar. I've been talking with people about that within the town.
I think people take comfort when they see a washing machine come out of the bay and a car, and I think that it makes people feel better that
Yes.
garbage is getting pulled out of the bay.
I think those are excellent information points, but I would think as a priority, we'd want location, what we know about the target, and certainly clearance from depth first.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting to the public as well, John. Yeah, absolutely.
right, anything else we need to discuss today? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the Anchorage Advisory Committee is adjourned at 10:31.
Aloha, have a nice Mai Tai.
Shaka.
I was thinking.
Hey Curtis, let me know if you find 3 guitars under there somewhere.
Why